Welcome to the new session on evolution. And here we will be, in this presentation, we'll be dealing with the geologic time scale. Okay, so what is geologic time scale? Geologic time scale represents the total age of the Earth from the time of its origin to the present. So it is a sort of calendar of the Earth's past history. And geologists, as a result of their studies of the strata of sedimentary rocks in different regions of the world, have classified geologic history into 6 eras. And here you can see the uh, eras starting from the most ancient, that is Archaeozoic, the era of primitive life, Proterozoic era of early life, Paleozoic era of ancient life, Mesozoic, the era of medieval life, and Cenozoic, the era of modern life, and the most recent one, the Psychozoic, which includes the rise of human culture and civilizations. So these are the 6 eras as per the geologists and anthropologists studies. Paleontologists have come up with all the different eras. And we can see that the each era is further divided into periods, and the periods of Cenozoic era is divided into epochs. Okay, so we'll be learning it in the next slide. Now, each era is a very long span of time during which significant geological and climatic changes have taken place, with corresponding changes in flora and fauna. So each era, it is actually unique in having specific set of plants and animals. The flora and fauna, the emergence of that origin of certain groups, then complete what you call extinction of certain groups are all unique to each era. The oldest era with the fossils representatives, it is the Archaeozoic era, and it is followed in turn by the Proterozoic, Paleozoic, and then Mesozoic and the Cenozoic. The Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic eras, these three, are divided into periods. Okay, while the Cenozoic, the era, it is divided into the periods of the Cenozoic era is further divided into epochs. Okay, now each era is represented by fossil characteristics of its like particular age, and that is how we have come to know when the particular animal group or a floral group have emerged, when they have dominated the earth, when they got extinct from the earth, etc., have been like concluded through the specific set of fossils characteristic of the age. For example, Archaeozoic era, which is the oldest and hence placed at the bottom of the geologic time scale, is represented by the fossils of unicellular organisms. When we proceed from the oldest to the recent era, we see a gradual increase in the complexity of the fossils obtained in accordance with the theory of evolution. So, evolution of primitive marine invertebrates took place in the Proterozoic era, which is the second era. Okay, from the ancient to the recent, if we come, that is a second era, and in the next era, that is the Paleozoic, evolution of higher invertebrates, fishes, and amphibians took place. This was followed by the Mesozoic era, which is well known as the golden age of reptiles, while mammals became dominant in the succeeding Cenozoic era. Man also appeared at the end of this era, and rise of human culture and world civilization occurred in the more recent Psychozoic era. And this sequential appearance of higher groups of animals from lower forms of life, as represented in the geologic time scale, clearly supports the theory of organic evolution. So actually the fossil studies and the grouping of the eras, etc., it helped to support the theory of organic evolution. And there is evidence that between the different eras, there were widespread geologic disturbances called revolutions, which increased or lowered vast regions of the Earth's surface and created or eliminated shallow island seas. And these revolutions produced great changes in the distribution of sea and land organisms and wiped out many of the previous forms of life. and this we'll see in detail in the coming slides. Okay, so here we can see these are the periods of Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic eras, and each represented by a specific set of flora and fauna. You can see that the Paleozoic, the first period under Paleozoic, it is a Cretaceous period. Okay, and it is when the flowering plants dominated the Cretaceous period. Then we have the Mesozoic, and then we have the Jurassic, Triassic, Permian. The first period under what we call Paleozoic is the Cambrian. We'll see it in the table. We'll come from the most ancient one, that is the Archaeozoic, where the great volcanic activities happened, and obviously the first group of unicellular organisms emerged. Okay, and then we have the Proterozoic, where the invertebrate phyla evolved, and then we have the Paleozoic era. Paleozoic era, the most ancient period of the Paleozoic era, is the Cambrian, and during which the trilobites, brachiopods were dominant, and all phyla were represented here. Okay, here the climate was mild, and earliest rocks with abundant fossils were obtained. Now, next we have as Ordovician, the recent one Ordovician, where the first vertebrates, that is armored fishes, appeared on the earth. Then we have the Silurian, during which the extensive continental seas were there, lowlands increasing, arid and like increasingly arid as land arose. And here we can see the ostracoderms, that's the primitive fishes arose. And we have the Devonian period, the next one, during which the first amphibians it came into being. So the rise of fishes, lungfishes, etc., were abundant during that time. Then Mississippian period, we had the spread of sharks and rise of amphibians. Once amphibians evolved, the number increased and became abundant during the Mississippian period. Then we have the Pennsylvanian, and during this, the ancient amphibians they spread, and the first reptiles they evolved. And during the Permian period, that is the last period under the Paleozoic era, we had the expansion of reptiles, and mammal-like reptiles arose. Okay, so here we could see that reptiles they spread over the earth. But it was during the Mesozoic era that the reptiles became so dominant. So hence it is known as the golden age of reptiles. Now this Mesozoic era can be divided into three periods. The most ancient one being the Triassic, and then we have the Jurassic, and the recent Mesozoic era period is the Cretaceous. And during the Triassic period, the first dinosaurs and mammal-like reptiles came into being. And during this time, the climate was warm and had great desert areas. During the Jurassic period, the dinosaurs became dominant, and we could see the first toothed birds and early mammals came into being. During this time, continents fairly were high. Shallow seas over some of the European and Western US were safe. During the Cretaceous period, great swamps in early part and rocky mountains and Indus were found. And you can see here, during the Cretaceous period, it was the extinction of dinosaurs. Jurassic period was the period during which the dinosaurs dominated the earth. And towards the Cretaceous period, we could see that the dinosaurs got extinction of dinosaurs and toothed birds, and spread of birds and rise of primitive mammals during the period. Okay, and towards the end of the Cretaceous period, mammals started spreading. So here you can see after the Cretaceous period, the Cenozoic era started, and the ancient period was a tertiary period. And during this, we can see that the tertiary period, it was further divided into epochs: Paleocene, Oligocene, Miocene, and Pliocene. Okay, and these during this period, it was actually when the archaic mammals declined after Eocene. You can see here, and modern mammals evolved in the latter epochs. Rise of anthropoids, that is humanoids, okay, related with humans directly. So it came into being. So in here you can see another feature is the appearance of modern invertebrate types. Okay, so during the Quaternary period of the Cenozoic era, which is the most recent one, just 2 million years ago, and during this, the extinction of great mammals, that is mammoth and all those kinds of larger mammals, got extinct, and humans, first human social life was observed, and the age of man started. Okay, and then obviously the next era is the recent one, or the present one is a Psychozoic, where humans are dominating. So this is the characteristic features of the what you call the different eras and periods, and you can see the different invertebrate groups as well as the vertebrate groups which came into being, that is evolved, and then it spread, it got dominated, and it got extinct at various phases of the geological timetable. Okay, so these are the important characteristic features of different eras of the geological time scale. Now, when we speak about the revolutions we were speaking earlier, here you can see each era, it is being separated, we can say, by a revolution, isn't it? And during this revolution, a huge amount of changes took place on the earth. And for this instance, you can see here you can see the Paleozoic and Mesozoic era. We had the Appalachian what you call revolution, and the Paleozoic era ended with the revolution that actually raised the Appalachian mountains. You can see here it is during the last period of the Paleozoic, Appalachians and Urals formed, isn't it? So these actually it is believed that it killed all but 3% of the forms of life existing then. So there have been a significant loss of what you call life during that particular revolution period. Then we had the Rocky Mountain Revolution. You can see over here between the Mesozoic and the Cenozoic era. It raised the Andes, and here you can see the Rocky Mountains and the Andes were formed during this particular revolution period. And it almost abolished most of the reptiles of the Mesozoic era. And this like the Rocky Mountain Revolution is always associated with the extinction of many reptiles during the era. So these are the features of the geological time scale, and we are. I'll just summarize what we have seen, and that the as per the geological time scale, the whole what you call Earth's be coming into the life coming into being on Earth to the recent can be divided. That particular time can be divided into six eras. Starting from the most ancient, we have the Archaeozoic, and then Proterozoic, Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic, and Psychozoic. And then the Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic eras were further divided into periods. Okay, and the periods under Paleozoic started with Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, then Mississippian, and what you call Pennsylvanian. It is put together as Carboniferous, and then we have the Permian. Okay, so Cambrian, Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, and Permian. It is included under the Paleozoic era. Okay, and then we have the Mesozoic, which included the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous, while Cenozoic included tertiary and quaternary in the sequence. Okay, then we can see that the two periods under Cenozoic were further divided into epochs. Okay, and tertiary included Paleocene, Oligocene, Miocene, and Pliocene, while the quaternary included the Pleistocene and Ricene. So these are the divisions under the geologic time scale. And the major changes that happened, we can see here the first group of organisms, single-celled organisms, then the invertebrate fossils, you can see sponges, protozoans, etc. And then we had the first vertebrate armored fishes, and then came into being, and then we had you can see the first amphibians during the Devonian period, and the reptiles came into being during the late Paleozoic, and then dominated the earth during the Mesozoic. And the mammals, it appeared during the late Paleozoic, but started to spread during the evolved during the Mesozoic and got dominated during the Cenozoic. Okay, so that is all about the geologic timescale. Thank you.